Hello, friends. It's Jim Hacking, immigration lawyer. Hope you all are doing well. My friend Daniel should be on the call in just a minute. I know he was trying to log in. Hope everyone's doing well. We're going to go right to it. We got some people in the waiting room already. I posted the link down below. Let me post it one more time so that everyone can go in the waiting room. Remember, if you're in the waiting room, you probably want to be on camera because we usually don't call on people who are not on camera. All right, so wait, there's Daniel. Hi, Daniel.
How you doing?
Welcome back.
Thank you.
How was your trip?
Oh, it's great. Great. Very nice.
It was for a wedding, right?
Go today or not? You got a busy schedule.
Who, you?
You.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, were we up there at the same time? I came back. I was up in DC on Monday. Did you come back on Monday?
Yeah. Yep.
Cool. Did you drive or fly?
Flew.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, we got some people in the waiting room. Should we get right to it?
Sure.
You get a haircut?
Yes.
Looks sharp. Hey, how do you like? Can you see my new backdrop?
Yeah, it looks great. Yeah.
Yeah, it's sort of out of focus when I'm on camera, but
I like it a lot. Yeah.
yeah, I like it too. All right, let's get to it.
Oh. Hi.
Ready or not? Hello, Mina. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I really like the new backdrop also. So my husband and I, we just recently discovered your YouTube channel. He's a US citizen and I'm a citizen of South Korea. We have a few questions regarding my pending adjustment of status case. Okay, so first, I was on my F1 OPT working for a company when he and I met. I was laid off during COVID a few weeks before my EAD expired last year. And before it expired, I did Shipt and Postmates for about 1 week and earned about $250. And I believe that's technically not allowed because it's not related to my field of study, which is physics. And I believe this is something I need to disclose at our green card interview. Do you agree with that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And do I need to create an errata form?
Well, so let's think that through. So I guess the question that you're worried about is, have you ever worked in the United States without authorization? So you'd want to say yes to that.
Okay.
And then have you ever violated the terms or conditions of your status, non-immigrant status?
Right.
That would be yes. So I would change those two to yes.
Okay.
And then tell them about it, and then it shouldn't be a problem at all.
Okay, so that was my first question. My second question is my I-130 receipt shows that it's at the National Benefit Center. And I know you don't take much stock in the processing times table, but the NBC option isn't even an option for the I-130 form on their table. Mm-hmm. So typically, do you know how long it takes for that to be approved?
Where do you live?
I live in Houston, Texas.
So Houston marriage-based green cards, the last time I checked, right around a year, maybe a little bit less, a little bit more from start to finish. Hopefully faster. Hopefully things will start getting faster.
Right. And the I-130 gets approved typically before the I-485, right? Yeah,
so somebody was asking me about that in here the other day. No, you'll get the notice of the 40. It'll say time for your 45 interview, but it's actually an interview on both. So they'll adjudicate the I-130 and the 45 at the field office after your interview.
Okay, got it. And then this is now regarding my EAD. We filed back in November 2020, which is now like 9.5 months ago. And I did my biometrics at the end of June, which is almost 3 months ago. And I've been bugging them, but how much longer should we expect before we receive that?
Should be real soon.
Okay, I'm praying. Mm-hmm. And then,
30 days.
Okay. Okay, that would be awesome news. And then lastly, sometimes we've heard you comment about the different field offices, and we were wondering if there's anything you can tell us about Houston.
Houston's good. Yeah, I like Houston and Dallas. I like Dallas better. Houston's fine.
Okay.
I think that in Houston, they're somewhat mean and harsh to Latinos.
Oh, yeah.
You might get a pass there. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you'll do fine. You're obviously very organized. Daniel, I'm pretty sure Mina wrote out her questions ahead.
I did.
Very smart.
Yes. Yeah, because I want to be make sure I covered
appreciate
everything. And
We
then
should encourage you to
we
do that. Yes, thank you.
actually discovered your YouTube channel a little too late because I was watching your videos and then you said you don't recommend changing our names legally until
Mhm.
after becoming a U.S. citizen. But I kind of messed that one up. So when I was filing, I used his last name.
Yeah,
And then under the alias, I used my name that's on my passport. And I was wondering, because I do want to change my last name to be his.
yeah.
And so when I receive the work permit, I can go and update my driver license and my social security card. But I was wondering, what's the correct order to do that?
So they'll give you your green card and the name on your passport, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Yeah, so I think you should be okay.
So it's
That's
not going to have his last name on it.
it it might. I think it really it's not always the same.
Okay.
It's not
Because I was
consistent.
worried, like, if they're now different, like, what have I done? And I now get why you said don't do that. So if other people are listening, don't do that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Good advice.
yeah. And that was all the questions that I had. And thank you so much. You're
Sure, man.
so
Good luck.
appreciated.
Let us know how it goes.
I
Okay,
mean,
thank you. Bye.
That was fun.
yes, for sure.
All right.
All right, Tony. Tony, hello. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Jim. Hey, Daniel. How are you?
Hello,
Hello,
sir. We're
Tony.
doing great.
Oh, good.
How can we
So
help you?
I have a simple question. I have a case which my father sponsored me. Uh, it's overseas in Greece, Athens. Okay, so on June 2nd, I become documentarily qualified. So I was thinking how long it will take till the interview here in Athens. How much time it will take from June 2nd till now. I don't know.
Let me ask you this
Do you have
question.
any idea?
Have you heard from other, we don't have a lot of we haven't had many cases in Greece, just a few, and it's been a long time. So I don't know what are you hearing as far as on the ground, as far as COVID and whether the embassy's fully
They
operational?
open. They opened the embassy like last year, 2020. They just. I saw a video on YouTube. The ambassador he uploaded the YouTube video that he just said like they start doing interviews, appointments, and all the stuff. But I know that there are not too many cases about Greece because Greece is a small country. So I hope it will not take that long time, you know. So I
Yeah,
was hoping, like, if you have any idea or anything you heard about it.
I mean that'd be a good question for some of the other people at our firm who work a lot with the embassies. But I would think you're probably pretty close. I'd say probably 1 or 2 more months.
Hopefully, yeah. Yeah, thank you.
All right. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Thanks
Yeah.
for coming on, Tony.
Thank you. Have a
So, Jim, real quick, you were in DC for an interview. How did that go? Or
Oh, that went great, Daniel. So that was for a case. Actually, I think you signed it up. This was for a fellow who he had sort of a complicated immigration history. He was here on an F1. He married a U.S. citizen. He filed an I-130 and a 485. The I-130 was pending for a really long time. He and his spouse went to the interview in California, and then the marriage sort of fell apart and the wife became abusive. They ultimately denied the I-130, and he appealed that, which was sort of strange because usually we don't appeal a denied I-130. Those are hard to overturn. He filed an I-360 because he was a abuse victim, and they approved the I-360, and then his green card case sat. So he's been waiting for his green card for like 5 years. So we filed a lawsuit, and this is one of those, Daniel, where you get the answer back from the government really quickly, and they said, "Hey, haha, you sued him, but we denied this case 6 weeks ago because we had sent him an interview notice, and he never showed up for the interview notice for the green card, and that's why we denied it." And they said, "Haha." So then my client and I looked at it and we said, "Ha ha ha," ourselves, because they sent it to his right address, but then they used their zip code. So it said like 10,900 Manchester. And it said Fairfax, Virginia, but he doesn't live in Fairfax. He lives in a different town in Virginia. So So we said our own ha ha ha, and we sent it back to them. And so they said, "Oh, you're right." So they undid the denial, they resent the notice, and then we had a 20-minute interview. This guy's been waiting 5 years for his green card. A 20-minute interview. It was approved on the spot. It was great. So it was good, and he was happy. We had a really, really kind immigration officer. He was very nice. He reminded me a little bit of Mr. Miyagi from Karate Kid. He would always say, "Very nice, very nice."
I like that.
Whenever we told him things, he would always say, "Very, very good, very good." So it really made the client feel at ease.
Well, that's great. I'm glad to hear.
That was good stuff.
All right. Well, awesome. All right, Mo, you're coming on. How you doing, Mo? Welcome to the show.
How are you guys? Thank you for having me.
Great. How can we help you?
So quick question. So I literally just got my green card through my child about a month ago.
Congratulations.
And thank you. My question is the following. I'm planning on getting married in October of this year. Will it look bad if it's because I just got my green card and I'm going to get married and file for a spouse 3 months later? No. Okay. Now, here's the other little caveat. It's a same-sex situation.
Sure.
Is this going to be it's a legitimate 5-year relationship. I have pictures and stuff, and not a concern there. But do they look at those more closely, or how does that work? Do you have any experience in that area?
Because prior to this, you were in a heterosexual relationship.
Yes, twice.
I haven't really. We've had plenty of cases like that, and we've never had that come up as an issue. Like, they've never really pushed back. Here's what I would say. Early on, right after the Oberfeld case came down from the Supreme Court, throwing out the Defense of Marriage Act, right then they were sort of weird because they didn't know what to do they didn't know what to do at all with same-sex marriage cases. They didn't know what to do with same-sex marriage cases.
But that was 10 years ago or something, right?
Yeah, that was in the old office. That was 10 years ago. Yeah. So now they're pretty used to it. And they don't really, I can't think of an interview where they asked flat out, "Hey, what's the deal? You used to be straight and now you're gay," or something like that. Like, I've never had that even come close to that. So I think you'll be fine.
Okay.
Is this for someone who's in the United States or someone who's overseas?
He's overseas.
What country?
Chile.
Oh, Chile. Oh, so they should be okay with it. It's when you get to sort of some of the Middle Eastern countries, and then you got to worry about the embassy staff being bigoted or something like that. I think you'll be fine.
Okay. And should I just?
You're gonna have to prove it up. That 5 years, you're gonna have to prove that up.
Yeah, pictures and stuff like that. You mean? Yeah, I have that. Should I contact the office to handle the case? I want to do that.
Yeah, for sure. We could definitely help with this. We've had some similar cases like that for sure. Consular processing same-sex cases for sure. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and put an email address in here and a phone number. You can reach out either way.
You don't think the 15-year difference will be an issue either?
Oh, man, my man Mo has lots of little questions.
Sorry about that.
So Mo, one of you is 15 years older than the other.
I am. I'm older.
Yeah, they're used to that too, especially they're used to it, especially in the same-sex context. So I think you're fine.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else, Mo?
No, that's it. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Bye.
That's all good stuff.
Thanks, Mo. Jim, we got a very special fan watching. I don't know if you saw.
Oh, I didn't. Who?
I'm gonna pull well, I think it's someone named Noor Hacking.
Oh, is the Noor
says hi. Yeah.
She's been getting on with her classmates at lunchtime. They think it's
that's so nice.
I think it's I gave a shout out to Parkway West Middle the other day, so they were all excited about that. They can't believe that we have 36,000 subscribers. They're like in shock. And Daniel, on my Maximum Lawyer podcast, we've had some interesting guests lately. We had on the TikTok lawyer. He has like 2 million followers on TikTok. So Noor was really excited about that. And then on that podcast on Tuesday, we interviewed this guy. He's the owner and general manager of a baseball team called the Savannah Bananas. Have you ever heard of them?
No.
So it's a minor league team down in Georgia, and they sell out every game every night. And the reason they sell it every game every night is because they do wacky stuff every half inning. Like they're the Savannah Bananas, and their cheerleaders are all grandmas. They're called the Savannah Banana Nanas.
Wow.
And then they do all like they hired a guy and they said, okay, your name is Cam, and so they did the kiss cam, and he'd have to run around the stadium and people would try to kiss him. So he was real wacky. So Nor thought that was funny that we had him on too.
So you're like the famous dad now.
I guess.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right. Angshu Deb, good morning. How are you doing?
Good.
You're
How
live?
are you?
Great.
Hi, Angshu.
Yes. So I have a question for. This year February month I'm gonna apply for green card. So I don't know how long to process for my green card.
What kind of green card are you going to apply for?
So as of my form number is I-485.
Right, but like, so you're in the United States right now.
Yeah, I'm in United States right now.
What kind of status do you have right now?
As a asylum seek.
Oh, so you were granted asylum, and then your year is up in February, so you can apply for a green card.
Yeah, and I'm on my case February 7th, 2020.
Yeah, February 7th, 2020.
Yes.
That's when your green card got approved.
No, this time I'm
Asylum got approved on February 7th.
yeah, yes.
Why are you waiting 2 years to file? You can file now. Or was it 2021 that you got approved for asylum?
So I'm gonna for after 1 year I'm gonna apply for green card.
Okay.
So
All right. Yeah. So where do you live?
I'm living in New York.
Like New York City?
Yeah,
What country are you from?
I'm from Bangladesh.
So sometimes green card cases, Daniel can tell you about this. Sometimes green card cases for people from people who got asylum take longer than others. So your case will probably take about 1.5 years, maybe 2 years.
Okay.
In the
So
old days, they didn't even do interviews on green cards for people that had gotten asylum, but they're going to do an interview for you. New York is slow, so you're probably looking at 18 to 24 months.
okay, thank you.
All right, good luck, my friend.
Thanks,
Okay.
Angshu.
Okay, bye.
All right. Omar, coming on. Omar, are you parked? If you are parked, please nod. Happy to bring you on. We'll go for it and see. Hey, Omar, we just want to make sure you're not driving.
No, I'm barking. Go on.
Great. How can we help you?
Hi, Omar.
Hi, how you doing, Mr. Jim?
Good, buddy.
We always learn from you, Mr. Jim.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
I'm just asking you. I have asylum pending removal process. I was student visa 2000. I came student visa 2016, and I was overstay, and I get cut from the ICE 2018, and apply for asylum from the jail, and I get bound 2018. After that, 2020, I got married from the same region country, but she is a U.S. citizen, and she applied for me A130 from March 2020, like almost 18 months. Nothing happened. My wife, she did 2 inquire last time. They didn't respond anything. She called the senator. So the senator back to her. They told her my case is in a Fairmont Center, and she have to wait 42 months like that.
42
That's what
months.
they say. Yeah, they say Fairmont Center is too late. I don't know what is it true, not true. The problem was I have relative from us. They apply from overseas. A130, they get approved. A130.
Well, yeah. So let me ask one question before we dive into all the things that you said. Something that you mentioned made my ear stand out, and that is, you said that you came into the United States on an F1, right?
Yes.
What school were you supposed to come to study with on your F1?
University of Miami.
And did you attend the University of Miami?
No.
You never went to school?
No, I never go to school.
So you came in on an F1 and you just never went to school?
Yeah.
Okay, so they don't like that when people do that.
Mm.
They think that it was just a scam to get into the United States. So that's one problem that you need to keep in the back of your mind. The reason your I-130 is taking really long is because your case is in 2 different agencies. So you oh, where'd Omar go? There he is. Oh,
Okay.
that's okay. So actually, your case is all over the place because you had an F1, which means you have a CVIS record with USCIS.
Mm.
You got put into deportation, so that's the second system that you're in, and then you're in USCIS because your wife filed the I-130. So, what country are you from, Omar?
From Yemen.
So they don't like it, or they don't know what to do when somebody has an asylum case pending either in court or at the asylum office and they have an I-130. So they just don't do anything. So I think that the only way you're going to be able to get them to decide the I-130 is to sue them, because otherwise they're just not going to do it. It's just buried under all you have a ton of paperwork out there in immigration. It's all over the place. Your files all over the place. There's lots of different pieces of Omar all over the federal government. And so you need to sue them to get that I-130 approved, so then you can go back to immigration court and try to get your deportation stopped.
Okay. But let me just ask you next question. You can do that?
Oh yeah, this is there aren't many cases that I handle left in the office at the USCIS part, but suing them I do, that's me. But then I also do the cases where someone is married to a US citizen and is in deportation. Those I know how to do. Yeah.
Okay, I will contact the. I will, already I could. It's gonna be like soon. You're gonna see my name.
Yeah, look for Daniel. Ask for Daniel.
I got you. I took to Albera, but she told me okay.
Okay. Okay, thanks,
All right.
Omar.
Thanks, Omar. Have a good day.
Yeah. Bye.
All right.
That guy had a lot going on.
We got Lisa coming on. She's got a question about her husband's naturalization case.
I see 2 Lisas. I think
Oh,
I think you
is
might
she?
want that
Okay. Yep. Hello,
Hello,
Lisa.
Mr. Jim. Hello, Mr. Daniel.
Hi, Lisa.
Thank you for your time.
Sure.
Yeah, I have a question about my husband's naturalization case. And- Okay,
Go ahead.
Yes, please.
okay. My husband is being a permanent resident for around 34 years. But the thing is, uh,
Go ahead.
but in the past, he had some issues, like he has a criminal record.
Hmm. Okay.
So what's
He
your
had
question, Lisa?
he had 2 WDUIs, and when he was 17 years old, he was being accused for child abuse.
What happened
And
back?
but the case was I'm sorry, the case was dismissed,
Hmm.
and then it was sealed. I'm sorry, I hear like an echo, so for me it's a little bit difficult to.
Yeah, I hear the echo on your background. There seems to be some kind of a delay with your internet or something.
Okay, so
Why don't you turn down your volume and tell us your story, and then when you're done, turn your volume back on and I'll talk. No, now you're muted. Now we can't hear you at all. So yeah, mute us. There you go. Go ahead
okay,
and talk. I'll be quiet.
okay. Oh. So the thing is, he applied for citizenship in February 2020, and he got his interview in April this year in Newark, New Jersey. And after the interview, he went with a lawyer. And then 3 months later, after the interview, they request for evidence for the case. It was sealed. He went to the court, and they gave him the certified disposition papers, saying that the case was dismissed, and still doesn't have any decision. So we don't know what to do, because the lawyer said we cannot sue because we're gonna piss them off, and we don't know.
Well, I think you might not want to sue, not because you're going to piss them off, but because I don't know. It's hard for me to say, Lisa, without looking at all the documents, whether he should have applied for citizenship at all or not. I'd want to do like a whole timeline of the crimes and look at all the paperwork. But if you're saying that all he had were 2 DUIs and a child abuse charge that got dropped, I mean, as long as those charges were in the past, like far away, if that's all that it is, 2 DUIs, then that could be one you'd sue on. You might want to, I mean, if I were going to sue on it, I'd want to see everything before I did that, just because I don't think you're not going to piss them off. They don't get mad when you sue them. But, you know, this whole case might not be approvable. I just don't know because I haven't seen the criminal records.
Those cases were like more than 5 years ago.
Yeah, so that's good. So it was probably a good decision to file the N-400. And what country is your husband from?
He's from Guatemala.
Yeah, so I'd want to look at everything over. I will say that Newark office is pretty tough. Like, they like to deny cases. They're like not nice. So you might want to just wait a little bit longer. But otherwise, you could sue them. I mean, if his interview was in April and 4 months have gone by, 120 days, which it has, then you could go ahead and sue. The lawsuit's really just a fast forward button. The lawsuit just gets you a final decision. I don't know what the decision's going to be, but don't be worried that they're going to get pissed. They don't get pissed. They just work on the case.
Lisa, I can send you some videos about the lawsuits, and you can learn a little bit more about it if you'd like to email us. Just tell
Okay,
in the email,
thank
just say you came on the show, and I'm happy to speak with you. All right.
Okay.
Bye, Lisa.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's a big delay on that one.
Yeah. All right. How you doing, Jim?
I'm good, buddy. How you doing?
Oh, great.
Did you have a lot of stuff waiting for you when you got back?
I did.
Can you believe they signed up all those cases without you last week?
That's
That was
great.
good. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
All right. Anil, I think you've been on before. Welcome to the show.
Hey Jim, how are you, Jim?
Hi, Neil. Good, buddy. How you doing?
Good. Just got my interview completed for the adjustment of status. Yeah,
How'd
I
it
just
go?
came to home because it's very near to my home, the Dallas field office.
Oh, how'd it go? How'd it go?
Yeah, the interviewer she asked if she went through 485, 130, and EAD and my driving license and all, and my wife's green card. And she checked it, and she asked my wife some questions, and just asking how we got married, and she's writing something on the notes. And after that, yeah, she mostly spoke with my wife, asking how you met, how we know each other, arranged marriage or love marriage. Then she said arranged marriage and everything. And then after that, yeah, she asked my wife, "Do you have any additional documents we need to submit?" My wife said, "No, the documents we have is good." Then she said, like, "Yeah, I'm gonna review the case, and and yeah, that's what she said, and I'm gonna I'm gonna update." And she thought that my wife was citizen. Then, oh, okay, that I'm gonna see the visas are available because your wife is green card available, GC. So I can look at that GC green cards are available too. So yeah, do you have any questions to Amachar? I said no, thank you. Then yeah,
Good. So that sounds like it went well.
yeah. That,
So do you have a question, Anil?
she didn't ask much about me. Sorry.
Do you have a question for Mr. Hacking?
I think he was just filling us in on his.
Just telling us the good news.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
good. I think people.
Yeah.
I think people like to hear how the interviews go, and that's what you just said is usually how it goes. So
Yeah, just for last time when I spoke, I know I always talk with him, about my updates and everything.
That's great.
Thank you, Jim, because I always follow Jim's like all the videos and how we have to answer the questions, straight questions and everything. And I follow exactly what Jim said. Make eye contact and the straight questions, like no more extra talks and all those things. And that's helped me a lot, Jim.
oh, I'm glad, buddy. I'm glad it worked out. Let us know when you get your green card, okay?
Yep. Thank you, Jim. Thank you so much.
Hi, Neil.
That was
right.
fun.
Yes.
I think if this show becomes a place where people trade information with each other, there's value in that too. I like that.
Yeah, for sure. Great. Who's up next? Haiti, I see you. I keep losing your video. Sandra, are you ready? Here you go.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Hi, Sandra. Oh, you're ready. You've been ready, huh?
Hi.
Hi, welcome.
Yeah, I have a question to ask. I'm married to a US citizen. We have an interview that was 2 weeks ago from my own country at the embassy over there. I was asked whether if I have kids, which I actually claim my ex-husband kids. You understand? Because I really brought them up when they were very young, when they lost their mother. So I really claimed they as my kids. So on getting here, I didn't tell my US citizen husband that this is what happened at the interview over in my country. So when we get to the interview over here at New York office, I was not asked to go out. Why it was not asked that, okay, what are your document you brought? I have a health insurance separate. He has his own health insurance, but he told that we have 401k and life insurance together. I was not asked to go out. So they now asked him, do you aware that your wife have a kids over in our country? He now said no, that I've never told him anything. So they now asked him to sign. So he was like asking the officer, what am I signing? The officer just told him to sign. So he didn't even bother reading anything. He just signed. So getting home, my case was denied.
Why?
They said it's a visa fraud, that I claim that I have kids, and I didn't tell my US citizen that I have kids. So I now told him that those kids are not my biological kids, they belong to my ex-husband. And in Africa, once you are divorced, most times the man's family claim ownership of the kids.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So that's just
the
issue.
Yeah. So I have a couple videos on this. The issue of undisclosed children or newly disclosed children is a real problem, and people get in a lot of trouble for that. Now, so let me get this straight. Are you the immigrant or are you the citizen?
I'm the immigrant.
And how did you enter the United States? What kind of a visa did you have?
Tourist visa or tourism visa.
And what country are you from?
I'm from Nigeria.
So when you were in Nigeria and you applied for the tourist visa, did you say that you were married or unmarried?
Yeah, I was married then. I was married.
And you listed children on that application?
No children, but the consular asked me whether I have kids. I said yes. I said, but they belong to my husband. They are not my biological kids. She now said, okay.
So on your DS 160, you listed no children.
No children.
But at the interview, the officer asked, "Hey, do you have any children?" And you said, "Yeah, my husband had children by their prior mother who passed away."
Yeah, I wasn't interviewed. It was my US citizen husband that was interviewed. I wasn't interviewed at all. The officer just sent me out of the room.
No, I don't want to talk about New Jersey or where you were.
Okay.
Yet. I don't. I'm still at the embassy.
Okay.
So back when you're getting your tourist visa to come to the United States from Nigeria, you did not list any children, but you told the officer about them, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And then you came to America, and then eventually you got divorced from the person in Nigeria. Is that right?
Yeah.
Did you get divorced in Nigeria, or did you get divorced while you were in the United States?
I got the divorce from Nigeria. When I came, it was pending.
Okay, so Sandra, just so you know, Daniel and I have seen this movie in the last year. We've seen this movie 100 times, not 98 times, not 99 times, 100 times. We're seeing this story over and over and over. People getting non-immigrant visas in Nigeria because they're married, because they have children, and then they come to the United States, and then they get divorced before they even come, and then they come and they marry a U.S. citizen. They don't like that. They're tired of seeing that movie, because if Daniel and I have seen that 100 times in the last 12 months, they've seen it 10,000 times. And this is one of the reasons why Nigeria is very high on their list of countries that they're really cracking down on. They've seen it over and over and over and over. So then you get married and you applied for a green card, and then is it that you listed those children now on your forms, or did you not list them on your forms now?
I did not list it on my phone since me and my ex-husband were divorced, so the children belongs to him, so I don't have access to the kids.
So then what you're telling me is at the interview, they kick you out of the room and they start asking your husband, "Hey, what's the deal with that old husband? What's the deal with those kids?" And he's like, "I don't know." And then they deny the 485, saying that you committed immigration fraud in coming to the United States by listing those kids, and that if you hadn't lied about those kids, they wouldn't have given you the tourist visa in the first place. Is that the gist of it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And did you apply without a lawyer?
Yeah, when I did it, I didn't apply with a lawyer.
Okay, so note to everybody watching, if you're in the United States and you came on a tourist visa and you overstayed and then you get married, do not file without a lawyer. Filing without a lawyer is a really big problem. And I think most marriage-based cases need a lawyer, but Daniel, I think I'm ready to declare a rule that if you're out of status, or if you come on a visit visa or get divorced, any of those things, you've got to use an attorney. Not to say that this wouldn't have happened, but that lawyer would have been in the room with your husband and said, "What's this BS you're trying to pull? There's no fraud here." And he would have had your husband, the lawyer would have had your husband ready for it. So now the question is, what can be done? I don't know. If they say you committed immigration fraud, that can keep you from getting any immigration benefit for the rest of your life. So what you need to do is have a lawyer, us or somebody else, go over everything, and you need to attack that denial, because if you're found to be a fraud, it doesn't matter if you have a kid who's a U.S. citizen, you can't ever get any immigration benefit for the rest of your life.
Okay.
So it's a big problem. It's a big mess.
All right, Sandra, we'll reach out to us if we can help, okay?
Okay.
All right, thanks for coming on.
Those are the cases that make me really sad, because a lot of that, and this is and she didn't say this, but Daniel, you've heard people say this. I'm going to try and file it on my own, and we'll see how it goes. And then if it doesn't go well, then I'll hire an attorney, right? That's the wrong mindset. The right mindset is you hire the attorney on the front end so that you don't, I mean, like for us to take over that case, that'd be like, I mean, she's going to removal, I think, so that's, you're going to pay twice or three times as much for the lawyer at that stage.
Yeah, Amani said something important when we were discussing, why hire an attorney, and she said, everything on those applications you're signing is sworn statements to the federal government. So that's why it can be so important to have an attorney. So for sure.
That's a bummer.
All right, Hattie's been waiting patiently. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Hattie.
Hello, good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening. How can we help you?
So my case is me and my fiance. She lives in the U.S. She's originally from Mexico, but she was born and she has the U.S. citizenship. So my case, I have the Syrian nationality, and I live right now in Turkey. So we want to start with the K1 visa process, but right now I'm in Turkey illegally, and I'm thinking about going back to Erbil, Iraq. So there I can be legal in the country and have like a legal papers and everything. Because I came to Turkey in visa and I couldn't make papers and all of that. So I'm just wondering if being in Turkey or being in Iraq makes any difference for the process time and all of that stuff for the K1 visa.
Well, first of all, okay, so you and your fiance, have you met face to face?
Yeah, only one time for 8 days.
How long ago?
That was about 2 months ago.
And when do you think you're going to go back to Iraq?
I'm not sure if I will go back or no. I'm just seeing if it makes any difference. If it doesn't, I will go back so I can be legal at least.
Well, it's interesting because on the one hand, it's probably going to be better for you to do it all in Iraq, but the problem is the embassy in Iraq is closed and it's probably going to be closed for a while. So I don't know that going back to Erbil is going to be very helpful, and that you'd probably have to go to Turkey for consular processing anyway. So that's one thing. But can we step back for a minute? Can I bring up another issue, Hadi?
Yeah.
I say this as a Muslim and someone whose majority of his clients come from the Middle East. I think a fiance case based on 10 days of being in each other's presence with a naturalized citizen and someone from Iraq is a case that's not very strong and that probably needs some work. So what I would say, if it's possible, is that you two need to have a longer history together. You need to document that history for, say, the next 6 or 7 months. Then you need to get married, and then you apply. So don't be in a rush to file. Don't be. I know you want to come, but really you want to win. And bringing men to the United States from Iraq, Daniel can tell you, is one of the hardest things that we do. So if I had a magic wand and could make everything happen that I would want, and obviously some of this stuff costs money, but if I had a magic wand, I would have your wife or your fiance come visit you a few more times in Turkey. And I would also talk on the phone every day and keep proof of that communications every day. And I would build a case so that we could file it in 9 months. I would say, we're going to file this case in 9 months or a year. What we're going to do is we're going to spend that year making our case a whole lot stronger. I mean, when did you and she meet online before she came? How long have you actually even known her name?
Almost 3 years.
How long?
Almost 3 years.
Oh, so that's a long time. So that's good. And so now I just think you need a little, maybe one more trip. I mean, I think if that's true, if you can document a history together for the last 3 years, if she could have one more trip, come over and get married, then I think I'd feel a lot better filing that case.
So a spouse visa is much more have a chance of success than a K1 visa?
In the old days, Hattie, I would say do the fiance because it's faster. But right now, they're playing all kinds of games with fiance cases. I don't like fiance cases anymore. Not to say that they can't get approved, and we're still getting them approved. But I just think an I-130 is a lot stronger, and your chances of success are better.
Okay. Thank you very much. Just one more last question about the Turkey and Istanbul. Turkey and Iraq. So staying in Turkey and being illegal in Turkey, does that make any kind of difficulties? Or should I try to make myself more legal here? So that will help me more.
I haven't heard much about that. I think it could technically be a problem. It could be something that bites you, but I've never really heard of people having a problem but then again, I haven't tried very hard to. I haven't had many cases where we're doing a fiance or a spouse case, and the person is in that country without status. We've had a few, but I think in the whole time we've been here, we've only done like 1 or 2 of those. So I don't think it's going to be fatal. As long as you can get into the embassy, you should be okay.
Oh, okay, I understand. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you very, very much. Thank
You're
you for
welcome, Hattie.
everything.
Thank you, Hattie.
Hey, Daniel, before we get to that next one, I saw a comment here. So this is our friend Yusuf. Yusuf says that the DS-160 doesn't have a section asking how many children you have. So I guess in her situation, it was just based on the questions from the consular officer. So, but that's a good point, Yusuf. If that's true, that's a little bit of an argument that she has. And, but overall, the problem is, and I mentioned, undisclosed children. The problem is when you say on the one hand, I don't have kids, and then later on you say you do, or you say you do, and then later on you say you don't. Because sometimes what happens, Daniel, is people will naturalize, never list the kid, and then all of a sudden they want to file an I-130 for the kid. And USCIS is like, who the hell's this? You never told us about this person.
Yeah. So if you have a fiance case, the DS-160, you don't have to list children? That's
what
surprising.
Yusuf said. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't have one in front of me, but
Yeah.
that wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
But I think, yeah, she came on a 160 because she came on a visit visa. Yeah. So I don't know.
Huh. All right. What are you reading these days, Jim? I'm curious.
Well, let's
I know you're
see.
a big reader.
I just finished. Oh man. Oh wow. I finished 2 books that I really liked. One was called Subtract by a professor from the University of Virginia, where Yusuf's going, and that's about how too often we try to add things to our life to make them better, when really what we need to do is subtract. And so that
That's
I really
interesting.
enjoyed, and I've been finding little things. I sort of, I love to stay at the Westin, and I love the Westin smell, and they give me this hand lotion, and I've been like hoarding Westin hand lotion for years. Like I literally had probably 100 of these little containers. So I threw them all away. It was great.
That's
It
good.
was great. And then when I went up, this was really weird. I read this book called Falling. You wouldn't like it, Daniel, but it's about a pilot is on a plane from LA to New York, and these bad guys take his wife hostage and say, you got to crash that plane or we're going to kill your wife. So then it's all stuff that happens after that.
Okay.
And I read the whole thing in a day because I read it on the plane, which is weird reading about a plane being crashed.
Oh my gosh,
while
that's
you're
a
on
bad
the
idea.
You wouldn't like that. And then I get to Virginia and I drove down to Yusuf and I listened to it on audio. So it was great. But I enjoyed the book, but I don't think you'd like it.
Yeah, well, the Subtract one sounds interesting. I've been reading Marie Kondo, so that's a similar kind of thing.
Oh yeah, well that made me want to go back and re-listen to that. Yeah. So yeah. So we got so much junk in our house. I got so much to throw away.
All right, well, great. We'll always like to hear what you're reading. We got Kuhn coming up. He's got a question, I think, about a delay on one of his cases. Kuhn, welcome to the show.
Hi, Kuhn.
Hey, Jim. Hey, Daniel. Thank you so much for what you're doing. I'll try to make this very quick. So my father applied through F2B category. And I've been in this country for about 12 years on H1 and student visa and all. But I recently appeared for my F2B interview 2 months ago. And even though I had indicated in my I-130 that it'll be an adjustment of status case, the I-130 was sent out to NVC instead of, at being at the USCIS or at the field office. So at the interview, all the documents were there except for the approved I-130, and the interviewer wanted to take a look at I-130 to make a decision. So it's been about 2 months now since the interview, and I'm wondering, how much long should I wait before I take any further actions like ombudsman or service requests, which I don't know whether those are helpful or not, service requests.
Well, first of all, let me just explain to everybody who's listening and to Daniel, because Daniel, we don't see this very often, but this is like my favorite kind of case. My favorite, like this is a magical case. And the reason it's a magical case is because you have been able to maintain your non-immigrant status this whole time while your dad's case was pending for you, right? Like this is very, very rare. So in our office, in 14 years, we've only had 2 of these cases. Like, I love to find these cases. I love to hear about them because they're just so unusual. And so just like me, USCIS is used to sending that case onto the National Visa Center because typically the son isn't here on a non-immigrant visa and seeking to adjust. So your I-130 got approved probably like 5 or 6 years ago, right?
Sorry, Jim, let me add on a little bit. So we filed the I-130 about 5 years ago, not 10 years ago.
Right.
Yeah, so we had a little bit of delay in filing my I-130, and we realized, that was missed opportunity. But we filed it in 2015, and the I-130 got approved in 2018 or 2019-ish.
Okay, and so then you got so you filed a 485 after the I-130 was approved, right?
Filed 485 when my priority date was current in 2020, so last June of 2020.
And so then where did you have your interview on the green card?
This was at the San Fernando Valley field office.
And so you show up and you're like, hey, I'm here for my green card interview, and they go, what's this? Your dad filed for you? And I assume, Kuhn, they asked you for all the proof of that you'd maintained your status the whole time, right?
The interview was very simple. The officer went through like a bunch of documents, and he tried to find all the documents. He found, a missing I-130s, and he realized later on that the I-130 is still at NVC. So he said like he would like to see the I-130, in order to continue to review my file. And I'm wondering like, and I called up NVC. They said like, it's an electronic file and they can see whether the request was being made or not. Plus, I called up USCIS, and what I heard from them recently is, wait for the 90-day and then go for the service request. Call us again to get a service request for this. And I don't know what are the options. Like, I know my congresswoman in my county is very helpful. So should I go for like ombudsman or congresswoman, and what time frame should I do that?
I would do it now.
Do it now? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
We're not wondering, are they confused about this case? We know they're confused about this case. So because we know they're confused about this case, we should go ahead and sue.
Okay, good to know. And like, it's been 2 months now. So do you still say like wait for maybe a month, or just go ahead and do it now to save the time?
Whatever you want.
Okay, got it. Great. Thank you so much, Jim. Thank you, Daniel. Once again, thank you for whatever you're doing.
Yeah, you got it.
Thanks.
Hey, a couple of things, Daniel. One, I forgot to ask how your Rosh Hashanah was. How was it? That was nice of Sophia. Everyone missed you on Tuesday. Oh, you're muted, buddy. You're muted.
Thank you, Jim. Yeah, it was wonderful to be with family and spend time together and everything. So yeah, thanks for asking. Appreciate it.
That's great. That's great. And then what about and then Freddie was asking about the diversity visa. So we'll be talking about this more in the weeks to come, but the next diversity visa lottery should start that first week of October. So maybe next week, Daniel, I don't know if we're going to be here on Tuesday. I'll be on a plane. So it'll be next Thursday, but maybe I'll lead off with like a little 10-minute presentation on the diversity visa.
Okay,
so
great.
Anybody who's watching and wants to come to the United States, they can all take their shot at the diversity visa. For, the enrollment period is basically the month of October, and then they'll find out in May if they got selected. So we should spend some time on that. Don't let me forget.
Okay, great. Yes. All right.
I got time for one more.
One more. All right.
I think that Tavi's been on waiting a while, and her camera was off for a while.
Sure. Hi, Tavi, you're live.
Hi, I'm sorry, I look a little crazy.
You're fine. Daniel looks a little crazy too.
Okay. So I have a few questions, but I'll try to make it short. I have a pending I-751. The extension is gonna be up in December. That will be the 18-month, but I heard they're gonna give out more extensions. I don't know if I'll be a part of this. However, I'm a DC resident, so I guess my case is in Virginia. the thing is, it's an I-751 abuse waiver, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know, like, I did it by myself because my husband didn't want to sign the paper.
Mhm.
I don't know what to think of the situation because he got himself into some trouble, like initially before we started any paperwork and did my initial interview.
Like
He
criminal
had
trouble?
got himself into some trouble,
Criminal?
right? But I was approved of my first green card. They didn't ask any questions regarding it at the initial interview, so I didn't bring it up. The
Smart.
thing is now, after, a few years of being abused and stuff like that, like, I had to make mention when did this start to where it led up to what's been happening. So I had put a letter, along with my application. That's my I-751 removal application. So they have a letter of, everything, and I had made mention of what my husband was charged for then. Right? So I don't know if it's gonna affect me.
That's a great question. Well, first of all, let me say that I'm sorry that your husband was abusive, and I'm glad that you're away from him.
Thank you.
Obviously, taking care of yourself is the most important thing. Have you filed for divorce?
No, not yet. That's the thing. I live with his family. I still live with his family. We have a weird relationship because now that he's not in the house, we we have cats and stuff like that. So we share the cats, we have a weird relationship to where things is of a mutual understanding now. And it's better than if we're within each other's space. So we're not rivalries or going at each other.
Okay, so let me talk on several different topics. Okay,
Hmm.
number one, the first topic you raised, which is the fact that your 751 extension letter expires in December.
Yes.
I do not believe that they'll give you an automatic 6-month extension. They're now expanding that to 24 months. But what needs to happen in November, you need to start calling USCIS and asking for an appointment to go into the Fairfax office so they can put a stamp in your passport and extend it one more year. That's number one. Number
Okay,
two,
I'm planning to change the address to Maryland though.
okay, when?
Uh, so I'm waiting on a name change from the court so I could get a EID
A name
because
change?
I noticed,
You're changing your name?
yeah, because what happened is that I've been using my husband's name,
Mm.
right? When I try to get an ID, they told me that the names have to match on my social
Yeah,
and in my passport.
yeah.
So I have to get a name change over in DC before I could do any of that.
Well, this leads into the other thing I was going to mention. I believe that whenever you file for an I-751, and we call this solo, when you apply without your spouse,
Hmm.
um, I don't think it's necessarily true in the abuse context, but generally you have to be divorced.
Okay.
And also, I think it makes your case better if you're divorced. They're not going to understand why somebody would be claiming to be abused and not filing for divorce. That's not going to compute with them. And if you bring up cats or something, they're going to think that's not a good reason. So if I had a magic wand and could make things happen, I would get the extension. I would start working on gathering more evidence of the abuse or of the relationship. I would get more relationship evidence to show that it was a real marriage. And then, sorry, my camera is overheating. And then, and then I would, and then I would, and then I would get ready for the interview that's coming, and I would file for divorce. Those are all the things that need to happen in order to make your case stronger.
Okay. So you don't think it's wise to file the N-400?
Oh, geez, no. You got to get the 751 squared away.
Okay. So you're saying to work on getting an extension, but I don't the thing is, when you call USCIS, you don't get anybody. It's
Yeah.
like an automated thing.
Ask for, do one of two things, either ask for info pass or ask for a tier 2 officer. Wait until November. And then they'll actually talk to you if your 751's about to expire, if your extension letter is about to expire, they will talk to you.
Okay. All right. One last question. Do you think like a spouse charge or criminal background has anything to do with you as the immigrant?
Yeah, so that's a good question, and that always cuts both ways. So like sometimes people will say, "Yeah, man, I had the worst husband ever. He was terrible," and they're like, "Well, you're the one that married him, and you're the one that filed the I-130. You want us to believe him on the I-130, but now you don't want us to believe him on the
But
750."
everything happened afterwards.
So then that's your argument. Yeah, it just you just got to play it straight. Whatever the facts are, Tavi. You just got to do. You can't change the facts.
Right.
All right, I got to go.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Bye, guys.
Bye, Daniel.
We'll see you next
Oh,
Thursday.
bye.
Bye, Daniel.
All right. Bye, everyone. Thanks.